Morgen. Was ist heute hier los? Ein Filmteam gekommen. Zieh mal deine Schuhe aus. Genau.
Weißt du nicht? Wollen wir das mal rauskriegen heute? Okay, wir werden mal die Kim beobachten, bei welchem Kind sie am meisten lacht und welches Kind sie heute ab. Mit wem hast du das gemacht in der Weihnachtswerkstatt? Wer hat das gemacht mit dir? So viel besser, oder?
All the team, they respect children. See, this is the most important thing here. They really respect children. They are not talking about it, they really do here. And this was great for me when I came here. I love this team here. I love their way of thinking. I love the standard of trusting children. Children are motivated. Everything we have to do is to take away everything that demotivates them. So we can start with ourselves, not to demotivate them, to work with them in a way that they never are demotivated. We can start to talk with parents that they do not. And I hope school will learn the same. But you do not have to motivate children. Often they are more motivated for learning than the adults. We have to accept that children are very different, that children have their own learning steps. But normally institutions, they are thinking like they can do all the same at the same time. And I think the big step is to finish with this way of thinking.
There is very much structure throughout our day. There are circles that allow mixed age group learning, where the children benefit from the younger from the older, and the older by teaching and taking care of the younger. And also homogeneous age groups, where children of the same age learn together.
So they have a structure of breakfast, lunch and snack time, and 1, 2, 3 groups per day, different groups. And that's a lot. Between this, they have twice per day, 1.5 hours, we call it open learn house. So they have the whole house where they can go. The brain has to learn. I cannot make your brain working. Your brain has to learn. What can I do? I can prepare the environment. I can prepare the way of interaction with you. But that's all. What your brain is doing, I do not have anything to do with this. And this to accept, of course, this is what Maria Montessori says. We are responsible for the prepared environment. We are responsible that we prepare ourselves. We are responsible for the way of interaction with them. We have, in addition to Maria Montessori, the thinking of Maria Montessori, the thinking of Reggio Emilia, we have a special concept in Germany called Infants. This is a special institute. Pedagogics really has special steps you have to do. The first steps is to think about the goals. The second is we have to observe the children. We have to know about each child. That's what we are doing here. The basic idea of our pedagogic is the idea of dialogue. You see, if you have the idea of there is a child and there is an adult, there's a teacher, for example. You have the child here and the teacher here. The idea is, how do they come together now? How to give them the chance to come into a dialogue. So we prepare for this dialogue about our goals. We ask ourselves, what are the goals we have? And we prepare the house, we prepare ourselves, we prepare all the materials, all the inputs we want to give them for the goals, we think about it. But it doesn't mean that the children learn what we prepare. The second step is, if we are prepared for all these educational areas, the second step is to ask, what is the child interested in? And now we need a lot of materials, and we call it observation, a lot of material that gives us the help to understand the child's way of thinking. We trust in children's brain. We trust that children want to learn, but we never know from outside what they are learning at this time. That's why we have a lot of materials, a lot of help to help us to understand the children and to bring together what we understood from the children and what we plan for them. And this is what we call the individual learning process. We have a small place for all our children, group by group. So, and the teacher, during the day, they give a small, short note, what they see, what is interesting today, what the children do. So for example, I take one. It's from the construction room. Fatma is working in the construction room, and she saw Ismail, and she gives a short message, short information, what he is doing there. You see, all the children have their portfolios here. They are not all here, because some of them, they are just in work, in progress, but everybody has one portfolio. So in these portfolios, let me take one of this. These are children, they started when they were babies, so that's just, you see, a very fat one. And these portfolios, you can see their learning process from the beginning till now. And we have special materials we are working with. And they started at the babies here. I asked the mom if it's possible to show you, because normally it's not allowed to see it, it's private. It belongs to the child and to the parents, the right who can see it. So, but the mom said yes. You see, it came here as a very small baby, and now, big boy just, sitting here writing. And during all this time, the teacher writes about the learning process. That once per month, minimum once per month, they try to find out what is the child interested most, what are they learning now, what are they doing. Sometimes they have a special story, special step the child is doing. And we also have, we call this open observation, their preferred interest and favorite activity, the learning story, the friends and groups, the individual curricula, the individual plan, what we plan with the child. We have special materials about areas of education. We have developmental milestones. We have a small report about the settling in. We have an entry form. We have some reports about parents' meetings. You see, all these forms the teacher finds here. And they have to think about all this minimum once per month for one child. They get per child half an hour per week to think about the child with all these questions. You get much more information about the children. That's it, what we do. So our teacher, they are responsible for maybe 3, 4, 5, 6 children. These are all our groups here. The children, they are here in the moment. And all the areas we have. You saw them downstairs. The science room, the role play, the Montessori, the construction, the music, the art, you see. So the teacher mark where the child has been during the last week. They collect their observations and then they mark it here.
I cannot take pictures in November.
Activity, and he was participating, and Akito is always like, he wants to show you that he's strong and he's capable of carrying like many.
It's very important for him, definitely.
Yeah. And whenever we offer him an activity in the garden, he's willing to participate. But in the science room, he always passed by, and if we're giving them something interesting, he would come and participate.
But you know what I noticed in the garden? Okay, I saw him in the art room, and then he started building. He took this material not from the art room, but from another. No, it's a football field actually. Wow. And maybe this is his interest, not really the movements at the moment. Also, he goes to the construction room
to build. The
Yes,
garden,
Fatma told me this.
I think is developing.
Because he's alone here. There are no friends. But he doesn't do it because of, you know, a friendship or because of a teacher. He always been into physical activities, physical abilities, garden climbing up. And this is something I was thinking, that's why I wanted to talk to you. Why, what exactly he's building in the garden.
What I realized while I was traveling and visiting those kindergartens and schools in Germany, that we were underestimating young children for centuries. I saw them doing science, having experiments in physics or chemistry or biology, using real tools that were considered too dangerous for little hands for ages. And to my surprise, I heard that those kids who have the freedom to try out almost everything are less prone to have accidents than kids who are taught and told what to do.
Candle pass is for children who are 4 or more than 4, so children can start. It's actually a special thing that they can do, so they feel a bit like they're special, they've grown, and they're more responsible. So they come and they practice in the Montessori room, and what happens is I explain, I show them, I present the candle, and we sit and we have a discussion with the children about matches and the safety of fire, not to play with fire. Only use matches when there's an adult around. And when we feel that they can do it in a safe way, then they get a candle pass. Then the children are allowed to light the candles in the circles.
Why do we need 2 candles, Malik?
Yes, because we're in the 2nd week of Advent. And only Akito has a candle pass, so he's allowed to light the candles.
Yeah.
Yes?
Philip.
Yeah. First one.
Good, Akito.
It's the 2nd week of December. And we need to count, we need to do our calendar as well, right?
Yeah.
Neve, can you bring me the big jar with the beads, and Rafael, the jar number 12. Yes, number 12. Selim, would you like to count today? Arba, yes. Today is, can you say it? You can say it. 9th of December
2013.
Bravo! Good job. Can you put this back? And then Neve can put the jar of December back.
So we gave the children the opportunity to link the garden with the science room. So they're doing other activities like practical science Montessori, like this, which helps them develop small muscle skills. We're doing some planting too. And we're talking about the planets sometimes and the life cycle of different insects. And we're discussing also the body parts.
We decided that we will take the frame from Germany. You see, there is something at Kultusminister Conference. They decided which educational areas must be in a kindergarten. And all these educational areas we have in Kompass. This is what we took from Germany. So we can say that we are on the level like German kindergartens are. We are on the level that good German kindergarten are. And we have, of course, all this like math and techniques, all this literacy, writing, reading, all this science, music, art, technique, social learning. You see this, be the own strong person. All these areas there here in Kompass.
Wofür brauchst du die klebrigen Hände?
Damit
es nicht auseinander geht. Ja, das bleibt jetzt für immer zusammen. Wenn wir den Vulkan fertig gebaut haben, dann können
Lasst uns essen, lasst uns trinken, guten Appetit. Piep, 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 wir haben uns alle lieb.
The meals at Kompass have always been a very essential part of the day. From the beginning it was important to us that the staff takes the meal with the children, because we believe that eating together is an important way of understanding table manners and the culture of eating together. Our children eat from china plates, not from plastic plates. And of course the proper use of fork and knife are essential to us.
No, it's December. He comes in December. So he said, now I can relax. After
The number of languages children can learn is not limited by our brain capacity. It's limited by the number of languages in our environment.
Dib ismu Bino. I gave that in Harda.
So we have an equal importance of our 3 Kompass languages here, which is English, German and Arabic.
Das ist Ägypten. Und auf Englisch heißt das? Egypt. Okay, Egypt. Und auf Deutsch heißt es? Ägypten. Ägypten. Okay. Heute möchten wir auf unser Papier hier hinschreiben Ägypten. Das ist unsere Ägypten-Flagge. Gell? Ja. Stimmt's? Gestern haben wir hier aufgeschrieben, ich wohne in der Stadt Kairo und in dem Land Ägypten. Jetzt müssen wir hier hinschreiben Ägypten. Wie können wir Ägypten schreiben? Thomas, nimm mal.
What is the difference between KG1 and age group circle? You see why don't we call all the parents who see the house, they love it, or and maybe 90%. If they come here, they say, "Oh, that's nice. I wish I'm a child. I wish I would have been in a kindergarten like this." But after 2 minutes, they are afraid that this is not enough for school. And you have a lot of discussions to trust the system, to trust the children. These children, of course, I trust that they learn much more than at the traditional system, of course. But to trust this is, I think it's hard, because you are trained by yourself in your inner picture that this is not serious learning.
This is the first action, yeah.
So she'll have them in both by
4, yeah. So there's no problem. Her fine motor skills, she's able to hold and draw with a pencil. With the,
she does a lot of that.
Yes. And she's able to do a head feature. Although sometimes they don't have a stomach.
The parents-teacher meeting also is excellent, because you learn a lot from the teacher, and then there's always a goal of, at the end, what do we look for next? Well, with Omar, it was like obvious to everyone. Every time it was time for pickup, we used to stay for an hour because he didn't want to go back home. And I was surprised and amazed that he fit in so well, and there were no problems. And I realized that him being in Kompass made that all the difference.
The outside space in particular, I think, is better than any that I'd seen.
The portfolio system I really love. It's so detailed and there's so much to see and read, and I can get it anytime.
There's a lot of photographic documentation of what they're doing on a day-to-day basis, and it's great to be able to see what they're really up to, because you don't know when you turn around and walk out of the gate what's really going on. So it's great to see that.
I was skeptical, الصراحة. When I came, I brought her with me. She was very comfortable. أول ما دخلنا. I loved the way that the teachers interacted with her. حتى she was a new student, she was very comfortable and they were very at ease.
We have daily staff meetings, management meetings at different levels, several times every week. We constantly question our quality.
Observe this and I can act and I can change like my plan, you know? It's not like that I have to stick to my plan. Interaction also. I have to be like spontaneous and like...
I love this example because I think it showed that it's not possible that you can plan in September what the children are interested in November. It's not possible. Maria Montessori would die if she would hear it, but she did. How can you?
When we started in Germany, it was a small drop, and now it's a big wave. So I hope it's the same. Kompass is only a small drop, but I hope it becomes a wave. I hope that we can found this institute. We are dreaming, or we just founded an institute as a training center, so that all our experiences can go to other places. You see that other people can be in dialogue with us.
We are not what we used to be 5 or 2 or 1 year ago. We're developing, and this is the challenge and the joy of working here at Kompass.